Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host Matt Marrero along with the other host.
Me, Tara.
It's funny because like in my head I'm like, Tara's fucking waving right now. We're not on camera.
Rude.
But Tara's...
I did not.
You didn't wave.
I didn't wave.
Okay, I'll believe you. By the way, Tara asked before we began the show if she could curse. Fuck yeah. So we're not gonna be swearing too much, but just enough. No, we can swear as much as we want, Tara. But what are we talking about today, Tara?
We're talking about my favorite anime, My Hero Academia.
Season 1. So I'm a complete noob to all of this. Tara, you've been watching this since the very beginning, when it first was coming out on like being simulcast, stuff like that, or did you get introduced to it a little bit later?
I got introduced to it later. I think season 2 was aired around the time I started watching it. My friend introduced me to it. She said I would like it, and then I quickly fell in love with it.
You know, so she was wrong. She said you would like it, and you've essentially have made it your life's mission.
It's
become a part of you.
Yes.
Yeah, like that one villain. I don't know the villain's name. They mentioned it only once in episode 13. The guy with the hands everywhere.
His name is Shigaraki Tomura.
Thank you. You just have all of the manga volumes and DVDs and plushies just holding on to your body. Just like he has the hands, you just have all of the merch.
I had money for a cereal.
Yeah, right. If you had money to actually buy all that merch. Well, you have like one plushie, right? Or no, you have the what's it called? The Funko Pops, right? Like one of them or no?
No, I actually don't, which makes me upset. I have a Bakugo and a Kira pillow.
All right, I'm looking up your birthday now. Anyway, so but they're cheap. I love Funko Pops. I give them to like everyone I know because it's just a nice little birthday gift. And for you would just end up cuddling with them. This show entirely is made up of your actual children. You have looked at all of them. You have adopted them.
Yes.
Yes. So
yes.
Even though many of them seem to have families, you've still said nope. You're Batmaning all of them. They're all orphans now. Yep.
Except for one that I don't like. There's only one.
Have we seen him in season 1?
Yes, we have.
Who don't you like, Tara?
Mineta. He's the guy with the
name.
Purple ball.
Oh, God, Mineta. Thankfully, I had to poop today, so those balls are extra sticky. Nobody fucking asked, but thank you for your input.
Oh, he's gross. I don't want to get into it now, but I will get into it later probably, but he's very gross.
If you ever have human children, they're going to be Minetas. They're gross.
No. My children, if I actually have real human babies, no. No.
You have 2 cats right now, so you have children. We just have to clarify human babies.
Yes, that's why I have to clarify human babies because my 2 cats are like my kids.
And so are you a father to them? Are you the All Might to your 2 cat babies?
I'm probably a mix of All Might and Aizawa. Most likely.
Yes. When I mentioned Aizawa to you, because I've seen just pictures of him online, like in memes, and also I've played a very tiny bit of the game, the one on the Switch, and PS4. So I saw Aizawa in there, and I was like, this guy just looks consistently both tired and on something. Like they don't test for it at the academy, and so then when we actually learned his quirk, I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. That ties into the fact that he just consistently looks like he's on some stuff. But when I told you about him, like, because I was live tweeting you as I was watching it, and you said to me, your text was mood. I didn't mention anything about Aizawa. I just said Aizawa. You were like, mood.
Yeah, he is a mood. He's just constantly tired looking. He first shows up in the series in a sleeping bag. He is mood.
And they look at him and they're like, "Is this our teacher?"
Exactly. And then he sleeps through a lot of their classes that he doesn't have to be a part of.
What's even better too is he's just like, "All right, guys, like even I, someone who wants to sleep, thinks this whole class president thing is a complete waste of time. I mean, just pick somebody."
Yep.
It's
but
great.
He will also fight to his absolute limits to take care of them, and I will do the same for my cast. I am so tired of their bullshit, but I also love them so much. I fight people for them.
Do either one of your cats remind you of any of the kids from My Hero Academia? All those little rascals.
Let me take a look. I have thought about this.
Okay.
I would probably say that Moonshine is my black cat. He probably reminds me most of Bakugo.
Oh my God.
Not in the sense of the rage, but in the sense of like warming up to people. Like, yeah, he's just like doesn't want to deal with people. He likes one person, and that is me. He likes me. That is it.
I'm pretty sure when I went to your place when we filmed the Undertale Let's Play for I think season 4 Those Guys Play, which is our other channel. I'm pretty sure Moonshine has never came up to me. Any of the times I've gone over, but Edward eventually was like, I mean, if he's gonna be here.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to recant that statement because the Bakugo is an angry boy. So Moonshine isn't angry. He just doesn't. He's a shadow. So he's more like Tokoyami and Dark Shadow because my cat is really a shadow. He's a ghost. He will disappear whenever he wants, and he doesn't like to be around people. Like only like a few people besides myself has pet him. So, and very few people see him.
I love that you said the phrase recant the statement. Like, ooh, Tara, you might be up for perjury charges. You said recant, but I'm not sure. You said it on the record.
Listen,
I don't know.
Listen, the Bakugo stands, like, they're crazy. I am one, so I know.
Okay, I love this. You're like, those Bakugo fans are nuts. By the way, I am a Bakugo fan.
Yeah.
Like, just calmly, by the way, I would like to let you know I'm fucking crazy. So, yes, by the way, I have to say, though, I really do, what I like a lot about this show, speaking of all the kids and and their dynamics and everything like that, it feels like to me, other than a few voice actors where I'm like, are you actually a child? But when looking at not just their voices, but also, again, like how they work together and stuff and what they say to each other, it really does feel like I'm seeing children, though. And it's good, because some anime, they either, like, I feel like everyone's a bit too mature sometimes, where I'm like, but they're supposed to be in middle school. So in this case, or at least maybe some of them are, I don't know if every single one of them is supposed to be, well, now technically a high school student, because, this is technically the high school, but still, I don't know, like, because I'm someone who, like, I used to work with high school kids as a debate coach, and so when I see high schoolers, I'm like, all right, some of them are mature, but, like, usually that's when they're closer to being seniors. Most of them are just, they're 14 years old. That's all I have to say, 14 years old. So, like, seeing these kids, I'm like, like, I actually have known some kids who are like Mineta or who are like Bakugo a little bit. Not too much, because they'd probably get expelled, because it's real life. Yeah. But still, like, these, I don't know, like, these situations and the way they react to them, it's nice that you're really seeing them learn and grow through all of these events, rather than just them being somewhat fully fleshed, or even all of their powers being fully fleshed. Like, I like seeing, even though it's immense pain, probably too much that he can handle as someone who does not actually have a quirk, at least up until the first few episodes. Deku, it's still nice to see him learn and be like, hey, wait a minute, I actually was able to control that punch or that kick or that finger movement. Although, dear God, whenever it hits him, it's like you might as well amputate the thing. Holy shit.
Like, there's a lot of jokes going around where Deku has to stop breaking his bones. But there's a lot that you said I want to comment on. So the fact that they're kids and they're not, like, they're maturing because they're teenagers, they're growing up. I do like how they are able to keep them being very childlike, and even though they are going into the profession of becoming heroes, and there's a lot of weight that has to go on their shoulders because of it, because they're responsible for saving people's lives, they're still excited about choosing a class president, and they fight over it because they're kids, and they will also do stupid things because they are kids. But at the same time, they also take care of themselves. And you also see, like, a level of, like, fear in their eyes and a lot of, like, self-doubt and a lot of different things. And speaking of self-doubt, I do want to address Bakugo, because you mentioned him before about, like, him getting expelled from school. If you actually notice, like, and take your time, like, watching it, like, I've seen the first season probably at least twice, I'm thinking 3 times, because I'm me. He is actually decently respectful to teachers. It's mostly his rage is going more towards, like, his classmates and mostly Deku, but you can also see that a lot of that is coming from, like, his, like, self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. Like,
oh, no, but when I say expel, though, you have to admit, though, knowing the system and how the system works, if during gym it was like, you guys can play dodgeball, and he's just smacking Deku in the face with a ball, they'd be like, all right, at least we got to put him in detention. Like, he would not be left without a lot of disciplinary action, even though, like, you could argue, I guess, because in my head I'm like, let's equate a normal gym class to their bomb situation. How do you have to do something like PE, I guess, right? If you were to, like, oh, let's play dodgeball, or like, oh, let's play this, and, like, you just saw one kid elbow the other kid.
So yeah, no, first of all, that isn't okay, and I also work with high schoolers, so I also understand. Like, so Bakugo won't do anything to jeopardize his record or anything like that. Like, in the first season, like literally the first episode or two, where Bakugo was walking with his friends, like, after school, and they in the manga, and this is where the difference in the manga. So
right.
it's not a spoiler. It's the same first season. The students are actually, like, they're trying to smoke, and he explodes a cigarette and says, like, don't do that. If I'm caught, they're going on my record, I won't be able to get into UA. And first of all, good job, Bakugo. Like, no smoking, good. But in the whatchamacallit, in the anime, I think they wanted to go to the arcade or something, or, like, sneak off or something, or hit on chicks. I forget which one it was, but
yes, you're right. No, like, yes, both.
Yes,
they wanted to do literally both. Like, let's go hit on some girls at the arcade, and he said the same thing. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, he did. He doesn't want to get in trouble. He wants to become a hero. In the beginning, it's very like he's like, oh, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be the greatest hero in the world. And then he starts to mature a little bit, where he's like, I want to just become the best. He moves away from, like, becoming rich, which is what he mentioned in the first episode.
Right.
But that really isn't mentioned again in the first season.
There's a few things I want to comment on as well. So I'm pretty sure they got rid of the smoking because I'm pretty sure legally they actually can't show kids smoking on television in Japan.
That's what I assumed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I think the reason, like, seeing him mature, even though he still has these issues with Deku, I think seeing Todoroki and being like, oh, I'm a hotshot, like, people think I'm good, but damn, he's on another level. Yes, he's put in his place. You told me that through a text, and I laughed because you were like, he's like my child, but he needs to be put in his place. And I was like, is he a child or is he your dog? I don't know which.
No. He is a child. He is not a dog.
Okay.
No, he's not. So he's very similar to a dog. So if you ever looked up a picture of an angry Pomeranian, that is Bakugo. He is an angry Pomeranian.
it's the most frustrating thing to me because when you sent me the picture of the angry Pomeranian, it was just Bakugo, and I couldn't see anything other than Bakugo. I'm wondering if the author has a Pomeranian.
No, but no. I mean, I have no idea, but I really hope while he was making the character, he was sitting next to an angry Pomeranian. He's like, that. I want that as the particular problem.
I know. The reason why I said that, though, like, does he have a Pomeranian, is because there's an author named Junji Ito who has written a lot of horror manga. He's written and he's drawn it. And Tara, you look up Junji Ito, his art style is terrifying. And he did one volume of a manga just dedicated to his wife's cat because of how much it terrified him. No, it was a terrifying cat. It had like this scary face, and it walked around the house. He'd be like, so even the big dog that we have would look at the cat, and the cat would stare into its soul, and it would run away. This cat truly is the most terrifying thing in this home. And remember, this is the guy that draws like manga where people's faces melt off.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful.
No, like, the cat manga is really funny because he even draws himself in it, looking like a terrified man, just looking at the majesty of this cat. So that's why I'm wondering if for some reason the author of My Hero Academia was inspired by a Pomeranian. But yeah, no. So I think yes, Bakugo definitely got quote unquote put into his place. And you're right though when you mentioned the whole they don't mention his motivations as much throughout the season because there was something else that I thought, to me anyway, felt like it was either maybe dropped or retconned or maybe just expanded upon more as the season went on. Where when All Might first tells Deku hey, don't tell this to anybody. Only a few people know this. And then by the end of the season, it seems like almost every teacher, if not every teacher at the academy, knows about All Might's 3-minute issue. 3 hours, sorry.
Well, All Might's issue is known to the staff members of the school, but the power One for All is only known by Recovery Girl, the principal,
and someone else. Because there was a weird silhouette in the first episode or second.
No, it's revealed at the end of the episode. It's the police officer.
Oh, it is the police officer. Okay, because it looked like it was his silhouette, but I didn't know if it was someone who was a big wig somewhere, like someone who was huge that we're not supposed to know about. Okay, right. Thank you. So, by the way, sorry about that confusion. But yeah, the police officer who is very much like I don't know how much you know about Batman, Tara, but very much like a Jim Gordon Batman kind of thing, like their relationship where it's he knows all my secrets, and I help him out as a hero.
I mean, I only know as much as the Batman movies I've seen. That's all I pretty much know about Jim Gordon. But, I mean, I didn't really see a connection. I just see a dude that knows all my secrets and just helps him out. I never really thought about the connection between that. But the thing is, if I may talk about the author for a little bit, Horikoshi,
sure.
He is heavily inspired by American comics, DC Comics, and he's actually inspired by Star Wars. So there's a reason why All Might is drawn in a different style, because it reflects his love of American style comics, and actually Deku comments on All Might's style, it kind of breaks the fourth wall, but he's drawn a completely different style, and it's pretty funny. And if you notice, a lot of the locations in My Hero Academia are named after Star Wars locations. There's a Dagobah train station. There's other random ones that I can't remember right now. But
there was okay. There was no, dude. There was one place that I was like, wait, is it just called fucking Tatooine something? And I was like, and now that you've told me that, that's actually really cool because I thought it was just a fun little random reference. I didn't realize Star Wars was that big to him, he enjoyed it that much, because I didn't, because I think Star Wars did well in Japan, but because there are like Japanese Star Wars games that we actually never got. So I know Star Wars was big there, but you never know like how big in a certain region it is, especially because the movie's like, the original 40 years old. So like I didn't know how big it was at the time over there, but no, that's actually really cool that a bunch of places are just named after Star Wars locations.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, you can definitely tell that American comics inspired his work. Like, totally. But I think what I love so much is how it's divorced from American comics though. So like, there's one show called Hero Man, and I don't remember if it got a U.S. release, but it actually was like I believe it was not just the Japanese companies, it was also a half Marvel product as well. So bringing that over and licensing it for future use is just a fucking nightmare. So I like, it is, because like you have to like pay all these different companies and like get all these people on board with the same contract. So like it's really nice that this was just made by, the manga of course is Shonen Jump, but I don't know who made the anime. I know that Bones animated it, but I don't know who actually owns the licensing rights. In the U.S., Funimation releases it, of course, but I don't know who owns the rights in Japan. Either way, it's still nice that it's divorced of all that, and also that it has it's done a bit different, because you and I were talking about your love of anime before this, and the anime you've seen, and so I've seen anime. Well, you actually saw anime when you were a kid, like you saw like Digimon and Pokemon and stuff, but like when I saw anime as a kid, I saw something Dragon Ball Z, which I think you obviously know about, but I don't know if you've seen much of.
I have not.
All right, yeah. So the point is this: back in the day, they did not stop. They just said, we're going to milk this until you fucking stop watching, or the manga gets canceled. So it got to the point where, like, there are, out of Dragon Ball Z, that side of the manga, there's, like, 26 volumes, and there are 298 episodes of the anime.
Oof.
Because they just didn't stop. They just created more and more filler, which, Fairy Tail is also set up in a similar way, I believe. They just created more and more filler, which you've watched. So they more and more filler, and tried to take like, this is a chapter of the manga. Can we extend that to one episode somehow? I don't know how, but we can't stop, because usually in Japan, they pay for the slot. Not all in all cases, but in certain cases, they pay the network for the slot. But it's okay, because then they get to like put any ads they want and like make money through their own ad revenue stream rather than the network. So this is relevant because in the U.S. it's completely flipped. So any company that has bought the rights to an anime in Japan, they get paid for the anime. So they actually make more money, hopefully on top of the, so they can make back whatever they paid the Japanese company. This is relevant, Tara, because if you say, I want to, stop the show, you might lose the slot, or you will lose the slot to another show. So back in the day, a lot of anime, they just were like, no, just keep it going. Keep it going till the manga's done. In this case, I like that they've actually segmented them into 13-episode seasons, although the next two are longer, 25 each, I think, right? Yeah.
25 or 26.
Yeah. So, but I do like, though, they just did one 13-episode season. Like, it's nice. You can binge it if you want to. You can watch it weekly, and then you could breathe. And also, they can kind of take a little bit of a break because, of course, it's very taxing on them to animate one new episode per week for years. So
Indeed.
So it's nice that they get to, do one every year. Once I know, like, it's rough, especially for you being a huge fan, but that also inspires you to go on and read the manga more. Rather than just going, I guess I'll just wait, till like, not wait, but like, I guess I'll just keep on watching because there's something new from My Hero Academia every week. Like, I feel like that would kind of dilute it a little bit and water it down if you had random episodes that weren't ever going to matter with the overall continuity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's really great that they're taking their time with the animation, because there are some sets of animation that are just really nice, and I do have like problems with certain animes about their animation just being kind of static, just compared to American cartoons. They go like the action scenes are different. Like the action scenes are very well done, but I feel like that there's just a lot of really well done things and emotional things done in the anime for My Hero Academia that on other shows I can kind of like get lost about. Like I'm kind of referring to just one of the older animes we used to watch, just like Pokemon. So it's very very static, not a lot of things going on because they just pump them out. Because there's so many goddamn episodes of Pokemon, they just pump them out.
Yes.
Again, it becomes very static, but because they're taking their time with this, they can produce such amazing animation. It's really good.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I don't want to say they're taking their time necessarily because I still believe that they have a crunch around the time, so there could still be issues. Like, they don't start it months in advance, sadly. They still only start it weeks in advance, but it still is better than getting that much crunch and then continuously crunching for years on end. I mean, I'm pretty sure for One Piece there's like 800 episodes. They've officially never stopped.
Oof.
And One Piece, I'm pretty sure the anime, because the manga I thought started in 99, so then the anime started in like 2000 or 2001, so they have not stopped.
Oof.
That is insane. Obviously, different staff. But no, that's crazy. Like, read the manga; it's a lot of fun. I would never tell you not to, but like, that is a lot of episodes to go through, and imagine working on that project for years. That's nuts. So
yeah, I can do that. Like I always have a lot of respect for them. It's just more of like just what I've noticed comparatively. I'm just trying to say that My Hero Academia does have like a little bit of a higher standard of animation, especially when it comes to like fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Just that they're just so active and lively, and they're so quick.
Yes.
It's like the day never stops in the show. You never have like a moment to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, one thing I like about this show, I felt like this show, even though I'm not saying I disagree with you about the moment to breathe, but I did feel like the first season was very quiet in terms of what might be coming, just from the way episode 13 ended. Like, it seemed like, because
does that.
Well, I only say that because not just, of course, episode 13 is ending in a way to try to get me to watch more, you know, and obviously now that season 2 and 3 are out, I'd watch more. But what I'm referring to, Tara, is the idea that I thought the entire season was going to be like, oh, it's Deku in training. And even though, like, things revved up, obviously, during the quote-unquote training exercise, it turned into the Evil League of Evil. But you were telling me, not to spoil, but you were just telling me, like, you said, I think your exact phrase when I said, oh, things revved up, you said, oh, honey. You think things revved up. And I was like, yeah, I do. You were like, oh no. But we're not going to spoil anything. But just in general, I thought things were actually kind of quiet, not bad. Just like, oh, this is nice. I get to see the students interacting and stuff. And, you know, we get to see All Might being a teacher, which is so funny. Like, it feels like even though he hasn't retired, he's kind of retiring and he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. So I do agree with you. So it's just in perspective of the first season. Again, like I'm caught up on the manga and everything. So like I obviously will make snide remarks at you all the time about the level of intensity. But for the first season, it does feel like that while there's that intensity, like you thought, like it'd be the whole like, oh, Deku's training the entire time. But no, you get a good mix of things. You get a good amount of intense action. You get to see the students interacting and growing. And this is only 13 episodes in a season, and you already have character growth. You already have like quiet moments where students interact, and you can see that they're still like kids and they're dumb and they're excited. And then you also get just good character development.
They juggled it very well because, look, I know you haven't seen the show or the manga Bleach, and I love Bleach. But the one issue that the author, Tite Kubo, had was every arc he would introduce at the most 13 new characters, some of them heroes, some of them villains, and then by the next arc, we would almost never see or hear from them again.
No, like that's the good thing about what Horikoshi is doing is that it's all tied together. That I'm not saying that every character is intricately important, but every character is going to have their moment. Every character has a personality. They're written a certain way where I can describe to you a personality of anyone in class 1A. Like, if you just say a random character, I can describe you their personality, and it'll be very easy to see, like, that's their personality. Because I know it because Horikoshi writes them very well. they're all well-rounded. Oh, that's my alarm. Whoops. Sorry.
That's your. You know what that alarm is for? It's time for me to take out my stomach so I can clean it. Weird flex, but okay. Did you see that meme going around? It was fucking hilarious. Even I knew nothing. I knew nothing about My Hero Academia, but like a year and a half ago, I just see a meme about Toad. What was her nickname?
Her hero name or? Yeah.
No, the name that she tells everyone, including Deku, to call her.
Sue.
Sue, right, Sue. So Sue is just like, my quirk is I can take out my stomach and clean it.
What are you doing to the toilet? I'm sorry. Cat, stop it. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Your cats are interrupting the podcast. They're like, you're not paying attention to me.
Stop drinking out of the toilet.
This is fucking great. We're not cutting any of this. This is brilliant.
My cat was on the toilet. That's disgusting. I have a water bowl for them.
Wait, hold on. You have a water bowl for them. Is it bigger than the toilet? Because I think they have the right idea.
No, because my water tastes very metallic. So, okay, you're gonna judge me a lot for this. I give them filtered water because the water tastes kind of.
Yeah,
so
no.
I've actually offered them that. So I have them nice, filtered, clean water, and they're like, "Let me get this toilet water."
No. What I'm saying is this, Tara. Get their clean filtered water. So keep the filtered clean water, but get them a bowl that's as large and shaped like a toilet, and they will drink the filtered water out of that bowl.
How about I just keep the lid closed?
Whichever one. I mean, you know what? Like, all right, sure. You could do either one. I feel like we're both different kids' line of thinking. Just get a decoy bowl or just close the lid. All right, whatever.
There are two kinds of people.
There are two kinds of people. Right. So did you? I didn't get to hear you before. Have you seen that meme go around, like the weird flex but okay?
It is pretty old, so I probably saw it, but just because like I was probably focusing on some other random memes, I probably don't remember as much. But yeah, I just recall the fact that like it's a weird flex, but okay.
It just stuck out in my mind because it was like I knew nothing of My Hero Academia, and I just see this girl, and I know it's the art style because that's Deku, and she says that because I didn't know her as Sue at the time. I was like, okay, that's her quirk, all right. And just it fucking killed me because, like, who just says that? Because I thought she just said that in random conversation. I didn't know that it was a part of their battle strategy.
Nope, it was. And also, like, I think the reason why I don't remember it is because I think the meme transferred over, like, the phrase "weird flex but okay." I think it was translated into "but plus ultra," I guess. Like, it was translated. Like, I could take my stomach out and I could clean it plus ultra.
Oh, okay. But either way, it was still it was so dumb and I loved it. But one thing that I found interesting, speaking of their battle strategies, is how weird and different they were because the reason why, so one thing that I like about when shows do this, in certain cases, I enjoy that I could pick out like, oh, they're going to do this. Like they're going to, do this to do that. That's cool. It doesn't, to me, take away from it just because I can pick it out and know that it's coming. But I really enjoyed that for some of the strategies in this show, it was stuff that I really couldn't have thought of. Like, oh, if I punch a hole and then the water like just, kind of pushes aside and then just drains right back in, and then we throw in Monetta's balls, that's a weird statement out of context. They will then all get attached to each other, and then, Sue's tongue just grabs all three of us and just flings us away from all of that garbage. It was
Sue's
just...
tongue basically goes, this bitch empty, yeet, and she eats all of them out of there.
I liked it all. Like, it worked because in my head I was like, oh, I could have never seen that coming. So I really enjoyed, like, how they were coming out of left field. But these kids, again, they're all putting their minds to work, and they're using their powers together because that's something I think that we didn't even really see from the heroes outside. Like, just, helping people, stopping these other criminals from committing crimes and stuff, like from the heroes and criminals, like, in the first few episodes, it really felt like none of them were even they were trying to quote unquote work together, but not like put their powers together.
That's a very important statement, and I'm glad you realized that. But, however, if I continue talking about this, it's not relevant to season 1 anymore, unfortunately. But
damn. You can't. You're like, I can't spoil. Damn it.
I was like, ugh. But that thing where the kids are working together and use their powers together is something that's really important. But also, I would like to take note that the only people that really, really worked together were Sue and Deku, and Mineta just kind of flipped his shit. So,
I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, when I say working together, though, because here's the thing. I'm not like, what I mean more is just not getting in each other's way. Because even someone like Bakugo, where the redheaded kid was like, I thought you were going to just say fuck you to everybody. What do you mean, fuck you? Yeah, like that.
No, yeah. So, that was Kirishima.
Yes.
My precious boy. I love him so much. But
what I like Kirishima because he just seems like he's really calm. Like he's just like he's not even like overexcited mostly. He's just like, I get to be here. This is nice. Hey, you're nice.
I can't go into too much about Kirishima, as I will talk about him forever and also spoilers. But Horikoshi actually made him to be like someone that brings the class together, and I'm glad you like kind of read that as like he's just happy to be there, like he's friendly, like he was made to tie the class together, and I'm glad that it's reflecting.
Now when you say that, you're like, he's made to bring the class together. I'm like, he's going to get violently murdered.
No, listen. No. But it was actually pretty funny. So now that we're on the subject of Kirishima, I'm making the subject of Kirishima now. I love him so much.
Cool.
Horikoshi released some like prototypes of the characters for My Hero Academia. It won't spoil anything for future seasons, but the funny thing I like to comment on is that Kirishima is supposed to be way more rowdy than he actually is, and kind of like a punk. But now he's kind of like, he's still rowdy, but he's more like sunshiny rowdy.
Yes, because because his character design, even in the show, looks like he would have some of Bakugo's characteristics, and it's nice to see that he isn't a punk.
Nope, he wants to be a hero like everybody else.
Yeah. But even those three work together, though. The one who she could actually use her heart. By the way, the coolest fucking power in the whole show, she can use her heartbeats as like sonic waves.
Oh, Duro. And while we're on the subject of them working together, I forgot to mention that I also like how that they're bringing together people where personalities complement each other and powers complement each other. So for Jiro, her power is like sound, like comes out of her ear jacks. And first of all, it's very creative. It's not just a normal like sound type quirk like President Mike is. President Mike just kind of yells, and hers is sound, but uses them in an interesting way, which I appreciate through the amps on her ankles and her legs. And Kaminari is electric, so I'm just like thunder and lightning, and I'm just like, oh, I love it. It's just like, oh, I love it. And it's very aesthetic pleasing for me. And then Kirishima and Bakugo, Kirishima is essentially an immovable object, and Bakugo is an unstoppable force. They complement each other very well.
Yeah. Also, I love how when you were describing the other three, Jiro and the other guy, Electricity Man, or Electricity Boy at this point. Yes. When you were describing them, you kept on saying things. You were like, he's electric, and I was like, boogie woogie woogie, and you were like, and then, but I didn't want to say it, and then you're like thunderbolt and lightning, and I'm like, all right, she's doing this on purpose. Very, very frightening. Fuck it. Kept on doing musical references. I'm like, is she gonna keep going? And you stopped. I was like, okay, good.
I didn't mean to do that. I apologize.
No, it was beautiful because I just hear boogie woogie woogie, and I'm like, all right, I can't let this affect me. But then once Thunderbolts and Lightning came in, I was like, now I have to mention this. Anyway, what I found interesting with the show that I liked a bit, but then like it happened here and there, and I felt a little weird about it. I was happy that the show did not have a lot of fan service.
Yeah, so there isn't a lot of fan service in the first season because they're just trying to set the groundwork to just a really good series, which they are. Like the first season is focused on they are rowdy kids that want to be heroes, and they're a little bit dumb, but they're trying anyway.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And the thing for me is, look, I have no problem with fan service when it makes sense. I just think that, like, this is a show where even if I guess maybe if I was a teenager watching it, then it'd be like, oh, well, these are other teenagers. But, like, just someone who's 26, I'm like, could we not? I mean, like, could we just not? That's the thing, right? Because I'm as old as I am right now. Like, I'm not an old man, but, like, I'm 26. So I'm like, could we not? I mean, the woman who's extremely large, I'm like, okay, you're a woman, so okay, fine, you know? And also, you could tell that she's trying to mess with people. Like, she knows what she's doing. Like, it's mostly because she's just like, you know what I'm saying, right? The woman who's very large running through the city.
Oh, you mean Mount Lady?
Yeah, yes, Mountain Lady. I love her name. Mountain Lady. Like, she, in a way, seems like she's just like, I don't know, just from the way she interacted with people in the first season or the first episodes that I saw her in, it feels as if she's like, I'm talking like this because, like, I want you guys, like, I'm not going to talk like this in my spare time. Like, I feel like when the cameras are off her, she's like, yeah, I'm not a fucking lady, fuck you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, the whole bent over thing, like, it didn't feel like that's a thing that she just oopsie daisies, like, all the time. Like, she's just like, oh, am I getting exposure because all of you are here watching me save people?
Yeah, like that is like fan service, and then again it was like the first episode, so I kind of forget this, but
I don't
then there was
care.
I
don't care too much about that one though. It was when what's her name lost her clothes during the electricity scene where I was like, all right, come on now, damn it, they're 14 years old, please don't.
Yeah, I have a lot of problem with Yaya Rozu's costume design, and there actually have been a lot of really cool, like, revamps of her costume design on like the internet and everything, and which I appreciate very well because, like, her skin doesn't need to be that exposed. First of all, because, again, she's like 15, 16 years old. It's not necessary.
Yeah. Well, because you know what it is? It doesn't. Yeah, so sorry. Keep going. I'll have something to say when you're done.
Okay. And also, with the amount of tech they have, the amount of, like, costume designers and everything, like, All Might has a suit that can withstand his immense power. They should be able to design a suit that can let her objects pass through her. And they can also design a suit to match what's her name? I know her first name, Toru. Hagakure, there we go. Hagakure, the invisible girl, they can find a suit that will go invisible with her. Like, there isn't an excuse. It's kind of weird because they're teenagers. And I'm just like, this is icky. I don't like this.
Yeah. Well, with two things. So first of all, you said they have a suit that could withstand All Might's power. Don't use any fancy lingo. Just call them his breasts. He has an extremely large chest. His chest is bigger than hers. Let's just keep it 100 here. Now, the second thing. I don't have a problem with her costume design only because the target audience most likely is supposed to be people, men and women, who are into that, who are teenagers, who are actually the same age. The problem is with any anime, and also the fact that it's not a teenager writing it. So, like, anyone can watch it. So we're watching it in our 20s, and you're right. And as a dude who's in his 20s, I'm like, that is icky. Like, I agree with you 100%. But I think if you and I were teenagers, we would have different thoughts on her. Like, if we were actually, like, 14 at the time, you and I would be like, oh. But because we are 26, it's just like, oh, no. The O is in there, but it's followed by no. And also the fact that not just her outfit, but again, the clothes were then removed, and it was trying to be a little bit comedic. We're like, look at the funny things that are blocking her, but still, it was like, but it's not all meant to be funny.
Yeah, like I totally understand where you're coming from. Like as someone who also likes women, it's just I understand that like I have normal girl brain, and then I have like brain part that is like, oh my god, tits. But it's also as someone who has been objectified because of how they look, especially as a teenager, like
right.
we went to the same high school together, so you understand what our uniforms look like. Like we were a Catholic schoolgirl uniform. I got catcalled going home, and like it was uncomfortable, and I was like, fifth.
Yeah.
It was gross. So, like even though I'm sure there are 15-year-olds that find that attractive, and that's target audience, it's not that good of a message to just just pass along. Like you are right. There are 15-year-olds that will be like, oh my god, she's cute as heck and boobs. But like,
my problem is this though. My problem is it's outside the outfit. It's when they start calling attention just to her breasts in general. Because you could say, I know you're arguing the outfit is also calling attention to the breasts, but no one actually said anything about her breasts, literally ever in the show. Like, what's her name did? Deku's friend. She was like, this suit's kind of skin tight. And she was saying that more about her than about the other girl. Like, it's interesting. No one in the show actually said, like, whoa. Although maybe Mineta did, because he's gross.
Yeah. Yeah, like, honestly, all his gross just spans over all the seasons for me. But I can guarantee you he has commented on, he definitely on Sue in the first season, but he's definitely commented on any of the girls, and it's very gross. I'm just like, listen, what's wrong? That's not one of my children.
All right, so then that's fair. So if he commented on it, my bad. But it felt like everyone was like no one was like giving her looks for the outfit. Maybe she said like, I may have drawn up the wrong outfit plan. But nobody actually said anything. But it's when, in my opinion, when the comedy comes in, it's like, this is funny, right? And it's like, you didn't make it just because it was funny. There's different reasons. And to that, I agree with you when you're saying like it sends the wrong message to anyone watching. And I agree with you 100% there. Like when it comes to the comedy around it, like, isn't it funny? And I'm like, man, like, because again, it's not really, it's different because she is like what, 14, 15? They're all supposed to be 14? All of them in that class? Like they all just.
So I think it's kind of weird. So we're introduced to Bakugo and Deku when they're 14 years old, and by the time they enter UA, I think they're 15. And I think the current age, is like so in season 1 they're like 15 years old.
Right, I forgot. In Japan, 9th grade is included in elementary. For some or middle school for some places. So I believe in a lot of places in Japan, when you're like, I'm in high school now, my first year, you're 15. So I forgot about that, right? Yeah. So in general, if they're all supposed to be 15, it's like, yeah, I agree. Like they got to do something different with her, if not just her character design, at least with some of the comedy, because again, it's much different than with Mount Lady versus her, in my opinion. Like they're not all the same age, and that's the thing. That's a bit different. But
and if you want like 15-year-olds to like drool over somebody, Mount Lady is an adult at least, and so is Midnight. Like they're both adults, and Midnight is literally like she is literally wearing things like she is called the R-rated hero.
Wait, I think I saw Midnight for like 5 seconds. She looks like half pro wrestler, right? Or like, and like half like 80s comic book character, like her outfit.
Yeah, like she was
one of the reinforcements, right?
Yeah, she was.
Then I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, her original costume design, like it's really not a spoiler, but she like it was supposed to be worse, like more like visible, if you know what I mean. But because her power, again, this isn't a spoiler, I'm just stating her power. Her power is to like put people to sleep by the stench coming off her skin, which is very irrelevant to the story itself, but it's
really
like
funny. Like
she's like, oh, she needs to have nothing on, and then they made like a rule where like she has to wear clothes, and it was weird. But it's just like if there are people going to drool over fictional characters, let it be like adult characters at the very least.
You know what? I'll give you that 100%. Yeah, that's fair. You know what? Yeah, okay, fair. But yeah, I also just because again, we're too, compared to the teens watching, we're too old fogies. So we're just like, please, none of this.
Put on some clothes.
You're old now, Tara. How does it feel to be old, Tara?
I don't like it. I mean, I've always been old on the inside. I've always known, I'm tired. I never really wanted to go out in college. My version of a Saturday night was drinking inside, playing video games, and watching anime.
But I just love it, though, because, Tara's just I walk the streets now, and little girls trying to get their merit badges, they say, do you need help crossing the street, ma'am? I'm not a ma'am.
No,
they're like, please. What?
No, that's mean. No, people think I'm still 18 years old just by how I look, which is very confusing, and I don't like it because I'm 25 years old. I look 18, which is just frustrating because the first day of my job out of high school, I walked in. They're like, "Oh, you here to sign up for summer school?" And I'm like, "No, I am your new teacher."
Oh, God. But then when people hear you talk for a few minutes, they're like, oh, so she's 35. And you're like, stop it.
No. Even when I wear full makeup, I still look 18. There's just no helping me.
No, it's not about how you look. But when they start hearing you talking about things, they're like, oh, she's in her 80s.
I guess, I don't know. It depends on what we're talking about. Because if it's anime, then, okay, she's young. But when I start talking about, oh, I can't wait to go to bed at 9 o'clock, then, yeah, I'm 80.
Also, I have to put my babies to sleep first. Oh, babies? How old are they? They're 2 cats. Oh.
My kids stay up past my bedtime. They're right now, they're supposed to be their private time. Stop it. Hey. No.
You really are a parent. I love it.
They're trying to mess up my skulls that are on my TV stand. But anyway, I like to go to bed between 9 and 10 because I wake up early to go to work. So I am staying up way past my bedtime for you, so you're welcome.
First of all, thank you. Really, thank you so much. And we'll wrap this up soon, within the next 3 hours. Question. As of this point, so compared to the manga versus all of season 1 at this point, none of the spin-offs happened yet, right? The spin-offs are later. Because there's manga spin-offs.
No, yeah, so the spin-offs of the manga, they haven't come into the manga, they haven't come into the anime at all. There are 2 spin-offs for the My Hero Academia manga, and there really haven't been anything included into the anime, at least in the first season. But there are 2 with My Hero Academia Smash, which I think is getting canceled, which is sad because it's really funny. And then there's the My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which is really good, but I haven't had a chance to read it because, again, my hyperfixation is on just the straight manga. So
that's fair. No, but what I meant is this. So if someone, let's say, came into this, right, they see season 1 and they're like, I want to read more. As of this point, Vigilantes hadn't even started yet, at the time of, okay. So it's like a season 2 or later thing, seemingly.
I'm assuming just because, it had to gain more of its popularity when season 1 came out and afterwards. So I'm assuming the manga was well on its way before Vigilantes came out.
Right. Oh, I was mentioning something to you earlier about I'm happy that these are, segmented, different seasons, shorter seasons, not just one long continuous show. What I enjoy is that this, obviously the manga and the show were very popular. They knew going into this that season 2 was going to come out, which is nice because I know you don't follow some of the stuff too much, Tara, but basically in Japan, when a manga is created, everything that is created around it is made just to support the manga. where usually in the U.S. it's reversed, where it's like, oh, we made a cartoon show. Everything else around the cartoon show is made to support the cartoon and the network. So the reason why that's relevant is because some manga, or some anime rather, are made just to promote the manga, and then they never come back with a second season. Or it takes years. So looking at something like Attack on Titan took years for a season 2 to finally come out. And granted, of course, the author was having a bunch of hiatuses with the manga, but still took years for that season 2 to finally come out. So in this case, it's really nice for them to be like, oh, no, we have season 2 prepared. Don't you worry.
Pretty sure that happened with Blue Exorcist, right?
I'm pretty sure it did. I haven't followed that, but I'm pretty sure that's another show where it was just created. Again, all anime is technically created if there's a manga next to it. All anime is created to promote the manga, but the anime in and of itself becomes such a huge moneymaker that they either never stop it or they're like, no, let's do what we're doing with My Hero and a bunch of other shows. We'll do 13 or 25 per year and then come back next year with another set. And again, that's why something like Dragon Ball Z, it's like, no, this anime is making us so much money because the manga was, and the video games are, all this stuff is making us money. We're never taking it off the air until it's done. Until the author, which in that case was Toriyama, says, yeah, the manga's wrapping up, and then the anime crew is like, all right, we'll wrap it up around the same time. And I think within the same month or two that the manga ended, the anime ended. So so in this case, I'm just happy that they weren't teasing us I don't know, maybe we never come back with a season 2, go buy the next volume of the manga. They're like, no, stay tuned, season 2 is coming up, that after credits Marvel type scene. It was really nice to have that teased because I'm like, oh, good. Even though I know there's a season 2 and 3 already anyway, still it was nice to know that at the time no one was being jerked around buy it or else you'll never know. Because that does get frustrating as an anime fan to want to see a show and then get told, yeah, buy the next volume, and then maybe even sitting around going, but it's not available in the U.S.
Yeah, I can totally see how that's disappointing and everything, which is why I feel like I'm just so spoiled because this is the first show I've really fallen in love with. And because of all the hype and all the merch and the video game and then there's the movie, and there's whispers of a second movie coming out. It was leaked early, and then officially, I think it was officially said there was going to be a second movie already, which I think is kind of scary. And I'm like, please let it be good. Don't rush this, because the first movie was great.
Yeah, it could be. You know what it is? They're probably going to quote unquote rush it in terms of the stuff you usually see come out of live action Hollywood movies. But I mean, think of it like this, right? Dragon Ball Z got a new movie every year, but it was a fun little 50-minute romp. It wasn't meant to be this huge new story because they're not canon. So it's fun with how many Dragon Ball Z movies there are. There's 13 movies, and honestly, they're all 30 to 50-minute little fun. Just movie. They got meant to be these huge features. The My Hero Academia movie was 2 hours long? Was it a full-on movie?
I think it was at least an hour and 15 minutes, I want to say. It was definitely, I think, a good movie length. I saw it theater in the city with my friend, and there was a lot of cosplayers. It was cool, but yeah. That's
cool. I didn't know you got to see it in theaters. That's awesome. So yeah, no, it could be shorter. I wouldn't mind if it was a bit shorter. Because again, when I think of anime movies, I'm not saying movies based off of an anime. I don't think of them as, unless they're really supposed to be canon in some way, I don't think of them as some big, extravagant, thing. It's it's a little fun little short, not a 15-minute short, but
The thing I'm thinking of fun little shorts was there were 2 independent animation episodes that are independent from the actual manga.
Yes, we'll talk about them in the future, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. No, yeah, the OVAs, yeah.
That's in season 2, and it's not relevant, but they have done that. And in season 2, which is not relevant to our conversation, but they took a little snippet of a comment that a character made, and they actually extended it into a big part of the episode, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is nice, actually. So yeah, but yeah, no, not like the OVAs, but like, a 50-minute one. I think a 50-minute My Hero movie wouldn't like kill me. I wouldn't go to the theaters to see it, but it would be, but it wouldn't be the worst thing to have it be a bit shorter. You would go see it, well, because you're the biggest fan.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. If I was, there would just Weeb City in my house, man.
The apartment would only be My Hero stuff.
No, I have a classy apartment, which you're going to see soon. And
right, you moved into a new place.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Which is why my cats are extra crazy. Because they're like, ooh, there's rugs we can dig our claws into. Let's go faster.
You got all this water right here. You're hiding it from us. No. Go get away from this. But it's all this clean water right here. No, it's not clean water. Is there poop in it? No. Then it's clean. Oh, God, get away from that.
No.
But one thing I was going to say, there's actually 2 My Hero Academia games. But sadly, we never got the other one, and I'm kind of sad. It was one for the 3DS.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I'm aware of this. I'm shook.
No, but you know what really pisses me off though, Tara? So let's just break this down briefly, just for a few minutes. So 3DS is this region. It's not region free. It's region locked. So even if I bought the game, which I could for a bit cheaper than it is on eBay, because it's kind of a bit too expensive for me, especially for a game that I don't know the language. But I would get it right from a different website. Be able to, it's like it's a Japanese auction site, but I could actually get it cheaper than on eBay. But here's the problem, Tara. I have to get a Japanese 3DS. And then if I said to you, but Tara, let's play it on the show because it would be fun. I only have the modifications to record 3DS footage from my US 3DS. I don't have a Japanese 3DS yet. So even if I bought the game, and I somehow bought a Japanese 3DS, which I probably could get. Maybe it wouldn't be cheap, but I could get it. We couldn't even record the footage for the show. Unless, we had, a webcam right on it. Over our shoulder.
That would never work because I would just be moving around too much.
It's just, no, but it's just infuriating, Tara. Because it's like, I sat there and I was like, why did Nintendo have to do this?
Sorry.
Because no, it's just the DS. The actual original DS is region free, so you can get Japanese games, you can get European games, and you can play them on your original DS just fine. But for some reason, Nintendo had to be like, no, 3DS games, you can only get one per your region. I don't know why.
That's dumb. I don't like that.
Thankfully, the Switch, completely different. So I could have gotten there's some games that haven't come out, some Japanese superhero games, that don't have an English release, a U.S. release, but they were released with English subtitles in, Southeast Asia, and I can buy them and play them on my Switch just fine.
Yay!
So I'm going to do that. I'm totally going to fucking do that for a bunch of games because somehow they're like, no, we have English releases overseas, but not here. But you can play any game on your Switch. And it's cool because you can even connect it to your TV. There's no weird lag or anything. I fucking love it. But no, there's one My Hero Academia game for the 3DS we didn't get, but thankfully we got the Switch one, which is nice.
Which I'm very excited to play. Very excited. I can't wait to see how I'm going to fuck it up.
I thought you meant by very excited, I'm going to be like, well, Matt, it's time for you to go. I didn't pack up my Switch. It's time for you to go. My Switch is still over there. It's time for you to leave. Tara, put down the gun. That was something that shocked me in the show. The fact that one character had a gun. Guns are outlawed in Japan, unless you have a hunting license or a cop.
Wait, which character had a gun? Again, I'm all mixed up in the seasons.
Cowboy McCreeface. I don't know. He was...
Cow, I know his name is Snipe, but that's a very good description.
Thank you. I love that his name is Snipe, by the way, because he was definitely, even though he had a normal gun, he was a sniper. It was nuts. His bullets could go anywhere.
You don't really know what the projectiles could be in his gun. He's a hero, so So obviously in the last episode, they're obviously real bullets because they just like tore through Shigaraki like no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a hero, so I really doubt he would part of their thing is that they're not supposed to use their quirks for their own like selfish gain. They're supposed to use them safely, even when dealing with dangerous villains. And like excessive violence is only supposed to be used in like dire situations, which this was, which is why he shot him. I'm sure he has like rubber bullets or something. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that that there was like a gun-based hero in an anime, especially one that's like geared towards kids and everything. But later in the series, like it does kind of show up again.
Yeah.
But like it only kind of hit me like maybe a few episodes after, maybe during season 2. I'm like, there's some guns here. It's kind of weird. It was weird.
Yeah, and it makes I assume obviously if you have to have a license, which you need it, or you're a cop. I'm going to assume the heroes have that license. I'm assuming they're fine.
Yeah, so heroes need a hero license in order to do their own hero work, which is why you have to go to like a hero school and do all the bullshit. And that's why like they don't allow quirk usage unless you have a hero license. Like I'm sure like there's probably some kids like using their quirks. Like I imagine like there's like probably a kid somewhere with like a water quirk that will like do a little water gun thing, like pew pew at his little brother or something. Like I'm sure that happens. But they're not supposed to use their quirks during the like in public or in school. So Bakugo does and Bakugo never really uses his quirk too much in class, except for that one episode, which is kind of confusing. How they all use their quirks at once, which is like, why are they allowing that? But I don't know. It was weird. But
yeah. Oh, speaking of, because we mentioned much earlier, like certain things being dropped or shifted, I'm really happy, at least as of this point, they've dropped some of Aizawa's, some of what he said, his speech, because some of that speech in the beginning, it did not, like when he first appeared, it sounded really bad. Like just from an outside perspective, it sounded kind of like we are better than you, but kind of like you must be killed or breeded out. Like it was some different, odd type of terminology, if you get where I'm coming from. Like just some of the stuff he was saying, like we are better than the rest. We should be supreme. And I was just like, I don't know. Well, because he was trying to.
Aizawa? When?
Because when he was talking to all the kids and he was trying to get them riled up to see who he would weed out, it sounded because this is just the English dub I'm talking about here. It was some odd word choice that I was kind of like, like talking about like classes in society and stuff like that, and like it was odd. I can't think of the exact wording because it's been days since I've seen it. But when you see his first scene that he appeared in, when he was like, talking to all the kids before the training, not in the classroom, outside of the classroom, like when he was trying to get them riled up, it was some weird language. And I'm happy it seems as if like he was just trying to do that just to get them riled up. He doesn't actually like necessarily believe that.
I don't know. I don't really recall like that kind of language being used. I was more focused on like the rational deception he did to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'll pick you out," and he's like, "That was a rational deception." But
yeah,
I don't really recall that. I know he could be intense, and he kicked out an entire like class of students because they didn't meet his standards. But
yes.
I don't know. I don't recall that.
It was before the baseball pitching scene. He said something. It was odd. I can't think of the exact wording, but it sounded very much like it wasn't. Maybe it was trying to come off as like a survival of the fittest, but it came off differently.
Deku in particular, like before he threw his ball.
It might have been to Deku in particular.
Well, like so. I think why Aizawa was so annoyed was that because Aizawa doesn't like any kind of like show-offy or anything flashy or anything that will that it seems so unnecessarily like risky. Like any kind of work like All Might. He obviously has a problem with All Might, but he doesn't like anything like that because it is risky, and the whole point of a hero is to avoid those risks and save people. So a quirk like Deku's that he just sees, especially in the entrance exam, he busted his entire goddamn body to the point where, yes, he saved someone, but at what cost? He basically, he had to be saved at that point. Like, if he saved Uraraka, but who would save him? So that's why Aizawa was so moved by this. He only wants to teach people that have potential to be stable heroes. A hero like Deku, at that point where he broke his entire body, that's not a hero that is worth anything.
That's a liability.
He's a liability. I guarantee you, if Deku didn't figure out how to control his quirk in that moment to transfer all his power to one finger, if he didn't do that, Aizawa would have expelled him. I guarantee you he would have done that.
I gotta say, I love Deku.
Well, we all love Deku. He is broccoli. He is amazing. He's green sunshine. But again, like, Deku channeled all of his power into one finger, and he did that basically on the fly. He has never done that before. And so Aizawa literally said, "This kid" in the dub. He's like, "This kid," like, oh my God. He basically just showed me up. Okay, I'm interested again. Because at that point, he showed rapid improvement just kind of like out of spite. He's like, oh, you don't think I could do this? Well, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's why he continued to train Deku, because he showed that kind of improvement in literally like minutes.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, when we get off podcast, like, I'm going to go watch the scene again and then quote it to you, so then we could have a better discussion, because, like, I can't do it now. So, like, yeah, so we'll continue that podcast. We'll continue that talk off podcast. But talking about Deku, though, just in particular, because he is technically supposed to be the main character. I know maybe for you and Bakugo, it's a different story. But talking about Deku as the main character, I cried like 3 times within the first 2 episodes. I think it was just like the heroic speeches, alongside the fact that, like, it's this relationship that happens a lot, that sometimes people forget, this idea of, like, oh, like, you know, my idols inspired me. It's like, yes, but what if you inspire your idols? So this cyclical experience of just, you know, having Deku be inspired to try to be a hero because of All Might, and then having him at the end of the day, a quirkless kid, being able to inspire All Might to push himself even further. So it was just this whole thing with the first few episodes that I was just crying far too much. And then you gave me this, oh, honey, text. And I'm like, look, because through the rest of the season, I was actually dry-eyed. Like, I was moved, but I was dry-eyed. But those first few episodes, for some reason, maybe I was in a mood, but the first few episodes, there was just something about, like, this little kid who just wants to be a hero, but who can't. And then his mom, my God, she's just trying her best. But, like, his mom, just not even saying, like, you can try at least, just saying, I'm sorry. And it was like, oh, God, like, just those first few episodes, like, my God. Like, basically the idea of, like, hey, man, if maybe you be a cop, I don't know. Like, at best, like, if you want to protect people, maybe. And then having him prove All Might wrong, which is also that's a great message for kids, by the way. Like, hey, not that your idols aren't what they cracked up to be, because, of course, All Might is. But the idea is that he's still a real person, and he can be wrong. And, not all adults know everything.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I have to admit, the first few episodes, I'm like, I literally yelled at my team, like, oh my God, this kid won't stop fucking crying. And I will admit, I did do that. But all the moments did hit home for me. But as soon as Deku started crying, I'm like, dude, stop it. Just stop crying. And my hands currently are going in Ida motions, because I am very, very emotionally invested in Deku not crying. But but it is really great to see that. Like, there isn't a lot, like, showing that a person can inspire their own idol, especially when it's not like it's someone like Deku. Deku does not have a quirk in the beginning of the series. He is in in Bakugo's words, he is useless. He has no potential. And you think like someone like Bakugo, who has an incredible quirk, would catch all my attention. But it is actually Deku, who is very, very plain looking. Like, if you look at the lineup of all the characters, if you were going to pick a main character, you wouldn't pick Deku. His most shocking feature is the green part of his hair, and that's pretty much it. And he has freckles. Like, his hair is green, he has freckles. That's, like, his most redeeming quality. But if you look at any other anime, you're going to pick out the character that's the main character just by looking at their hair, and that's usually the loudest hair. If the loudest hair was the main character in My Hero Academia, it would probably be like Hiroshima with his bright red hair and shark teeth.
Yes. No, I was going to say that. I was like, if she says Bakugo immediately, I'm going to be like, denied, vetoed, Kirishima.
Nope, Kirishima. It would probably be Kirishima because he has, like, big eyes that catch your attention. His eyes are red, his hair is red and loud, and he himself is loud, and he has sharp teeth. Like, that just kind of screams, like, look at me. Meanwhile, Deku is literally the embodiment of a piece of broccoli. You're just kind of, like, there. And are you laughing?
No, I'm just laughing because I'm imagining, like, Mom, I don't want to eat Deku. Look, okay, sweetie, it's going to make you big and strong. Here's your Deku. No.
He's broccoli. I don't know. But yeah, so it's also, like, nice to see, like, someone, like visibly who is plain doesn't really do much, I don't know. I love Deku, okay? I love his character design. I love his personality. Where his personality doesn't really shine unless, like it doesn't shine too much until, like, he really gets into a topic. Like, he's an otaku. He is a fanboy.
Yes.
Like,
it's a beautiful thing because because this anime didn't come out like 40 years ago, it's able to take what we've seen through those 40 to 50 years. I'm not saying that shonen anime just started 50 years ago, but like all of these action anime that I'm obviously sure inspired the author as well to do this and have that turned into this, so he knows what to do and maybe what even not to do. Like, oh, this has been done, but has this been done? And I feel like something like this all together, like putting it all together in the same pot and stirring it, isn't something that's really been done from a Japanese side of things.
No, I don't think it hasn't, which is why it kind of caught my attention, because like I was never really interested in it because I kept seeing like the same kind of motifs over again. And it's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. But then I saw this, and I'm like, oh, this kid's like he's a fucking weeb. Look at him. He's a weeb.
Yeah.
He's going to inherit the greatest power unknown, I guess, to mankind, since no one knows about the power for like 4 people, including All Might. Yeah. But also, like, just a little side note, Horikoshi's original design for Deku, it has him looking a lot more emo, and his hair is pretty much straight up black.
Oh my God.
His hair is covering one of his eyes. It's very emo.
Oh.
And Bakugo, on the other hand, his pro design is more preppy. Like, it's so bizarre to see that, like, the changes it's made. I'm so glad they were made, because if they weren't made, I wouldn't be as invested in the show.
I think he probably made him look more quote-unquote emo like that, because so when we're done with the podcast, look up a manga called Kitaro, because it's an older manga, really old, like from the 60s, or I think from the 50s, 60s, but it has been adapted a lot. We never really got it in the U.S., but the point is that I'm pretty sure this author had, even though it's a horror manga, I'm pretty sure this author as a kid read or was familiar with Kitaro, and he has the hair over his eye design similar to what you're describing. By the way, before anyone jumps on me for like, it's never been done before, again, different ingredients have been. There are a lot of fun references, but I feel like put all together, looking at it from a Japanese side of things, like the anime side of things, usually it feels as if they stray away from superheroes like this, like an American style of superhero, and usually superheroes are done, again, Japanese style. What is Japanese style for some that might not know? Ultraman, or even though Godzilla's not technically a hero, kaiju, but still Godzilla, Super Sentai, which if you don't know, Tara, Super Sentai in the U.S. became Power Rangers.
Mm.
So, or Kamen Rider, which in the U.S. became something called Masked Rider or Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. You may have heard of those randomly on TV or something when we were younger. So, or another Japanese superhero show. 3 shows from the Metal Hero franchise became something called VR Troopers, or B-Fighter Kabuto became Big Bad Beetleborgs. So some of these shows you may have been like, I think I've heard of that, like on Fox Kids or something. So those are Japanese live-action superheroes that got adapted to the U.S. But when talking about the anime side of things, even though some of those did start off as like manga, again, in the 70s, but the anime side of things haven't really seen stuff like this, although speaking of one of the fun references, so All Might, the fact that All Might could only go for like 3 hours, it's actually a really funny reference to Ultraman, who, if you don't know Ultraman, Tara, there's like a human walking around, and then Ultraman is a being of light. And so what happens is giant monsters usually start to destroy the town or like come up out of nowhere, and then Ultraman, being a being of light, is like, let me help you save your Earth, and then inhabits your body, not like takes over completely, but like kind of like the original concept for Thor, where Thor and Donald Blake were 2 different people. And so with Ultraman, you can then become this giant Ultraman character, but he can only be in that giant form for 3 minutes.
Ooh.
And then once once like it hits like 2 minutes and 30, there starts to like he has like this emblem on his chest that's red, and it starts to blink and go pino 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 pino, and it's like, oh no, like there's like an announcer, oh no, children, Ultraman is almost done. Can he fight the monster? And then like there's like little kids around, Ultraman, you can do it, yeah. And then he fucking kills the monster. Sometimes horrifically, and it's kind of funny. No, because Ultraman started in '66, so one Ultraman Ace, the top of his head had like this boomerang type thing, fucking chopped off a monster's like arm or head or something, and I was like, holy shit. Children's TV was very different back then, Tara. But, you know that one character, I don't remember his name, but he has like these big fishy lips. Not fishy lips, but he has like his hairstyle is kind of like a mohawk-ish.
Sato?
I don't know his name. I just know that he's in spandex. Kind of looks like a pro wrestler a bit.
It's probably Sato. He has I think he's the only male character with big lips like that.
Yes.
And
because here's why. Do you remember when we were kids? You might never have seen it, but you might have seen like commercials, flipping channels. There was a show called Ultimate Muscle.
No.
Damn. It was an anime. The reason why that's relevant is because it was an anime. In Japan, the second season was called Ultimate Muscle. The first season was called Kinnikuman, so that translates to Muscle Man. It was about, it's a quote-unquote superhero show, but they're all super pro wrestlers. So it's like, oh, we're pro wrestling, but the bad guys are like these evil type of monsters, but we're all like normal sized, like actually wrestling each other. Although earlier Kinnikuman, they were actually as tall as buildings. But what matters is this. When looking at how old Kinnikuman is, the 70s, and looking at how old Ultimate Muscle is, which is the sequel series in the 90s, when you see that character and you look up Ultimate Muscle or Kinnikuman, you're like, oh wow, the big lips, the hair, the spandex, it's very much a nod to those characters. So it's kind of funny how you can see what heroes, not just Merkin, you can see what other heroes have inspired his work.
I'm looking at Ultimate Muscle right now. I'm like, God, that's like Sato with less hair.
You see what I mean? Yes. And even looking at Kitaro, you can definitely see that most likely from what you described in the original design for Deku. So, no, it's really nice to see. And Kitaro isn't even like a superhero thing. It's just more supernatural, creepy horror. But like not horror like gore, just horror like the atmosphere is just dark. So yeah, no, it's really nice to see like, his inspirations and being like, guys, like look at this, because, not all work. Some people I feel like sometimes are like, no, the work is just the work. And it's like, no, there is deeper meaning simply due to the fact that someone grew up around all of that work. And it clearly, even if maybe the author doesn't even realize it, it's like, no, but that's clearly based on, the kid from Ultimate Muscle. I forgot his name. Oh, God, I remember his name. Yeah, I know. But either way, though, yeah, so it's really nice. I have to say this. The season definitely got me hooked, so I want to do another season soon. So hopefully you're free within the next 2 months because I want to watch more of this and podcast on it because it's a hell of a lot of fun. I'll say this much: it drew me. I watched the show in like 3 days. I don't really marathon things a lot, but I got hooked.
Yeah, I am always free to talk about this show. Like, you could send me a meme, like outside the podcast. You can call me up anytime. You can text me about it. Theories. I will force the manga on you as well. Like,
oh, that's funny. I was about to say, you know what? No, I was about to say I might actually start buying the manga, but then you said force it on me, so now I have to go Bakugo. No, now that you made me do it, I'm not going to do it.
Listen. Bakugo, he will listen to people, like, if they really tell him to do something, especially if they're an authority figure. So, I'm a teacher, so I'm an authority figure. Does that work out? Yeah.
As a debate coach, I must challenge one thing. By the way, speaking of Bakugo yet again, we talked about his growth, but I have to say, and we made the joke earlier about Kirishima saying, like, usually you're like this, but now you're like this. I have to say, though, I really do enjoy the fact that even just throughout the season, it's like, well, I mean, look, I know I'm kind of angry a lot, but look around us. Is this really the time for me to be a dick?
He normally tries to, like, yes, he is angry, but he doesn't really, like, unless he's provoked, he wants to keep to himself. He's very quiet. Like on the bus on the way to the, what was the abbreviation? The SGC? It's not SGC. That's no.
Oh, yes. Universal Studios Japan.
USJ. Thank you.
Yes.
God. SGC is a permitting conference. God damn it. USJ.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way to USJ, he was just in the back, minding his own business, kind of like Todoroki, and he wasn't really bothering anyone. But as soon as, like, Sue was like, Bakugo's not going to be popular, he's an asshole, he was like, what did you say? And then he got pissed off.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to see, sorry to interrupt, but I want to say I can't wait to see more from him in the future because the fact that you like him so much, I'm assuming they show more of his character as a kid because from my perspective, it looks like he became a bully to Deku, but I assume things change to a point where you're like, look, okay, it's okay. Because from my perspective, it looks like he was Deku's bully for a bit. Well, all Deku's doing is like, I want to help you, and it's like, how dare you think you could help me? But I'm assuming things change.
Yes. So the thing is that you even see the change now, like even the first few episodes. So in the first episode, like Bakugo acts like he's the shit. Like he is in 9th grade. He is like the best contender for UA. He's like, I'm the man, and Deku's like a bug. So he doesn't really, I feel like he doesn't really, like, notice Deku too much. It was only until, like Deku made the comment he wants to go to UA where Bakugo really, like, got on his case. And it was only until, like, Bakugo's, his quirk manifested and Deku still kind of treated him the same. He didn't treat him like a god or anything or someone special, where Bakugo's ego got, like, inflated. I feel like that if Deku interacts with Bakugo, that's when really Bakugo kind of, like, gets angry and, like, a bully. I don't feel like Bakugo really goes after him too much. But, again,
okay.
I'm, like, really far ahead. But I'm going to wrap up what I'm saying because I'm going to get off onto a tangent. But after the slime villain incident, like, it did change. Like, it immediately changed.
So then that's where you're coming from. You're coming from a perspective where you're like, because for me as a new person watching this, I'm like, I know he's changing, but like, it looks bad, Tara. And you're like, no, when you're at season 3, he becomes your baby boy. And I'm like, okay, Tara.
No, so the first episode, he is a bully. He is mean. He's still mean. Don't get me wrong. He's a gremlin. I love him, but he's a gremlin. But after the incident where Deku pretty much like yeeted himself at Bakugo trying to save him, Bakugo doesn't, even Deku comments on it, he doesn't really bother him anymore. Like, he'll say, I'll set you on fire, but he doesn't shove him. He doesn't really do anything until
I know that Deku has a quirk too, but just out of context. Yes, he does say, "I'll set you on fire," but other than that, he's a model citizen.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in context to, like, he tells Deku to take a nosedive off the roof of the building. He's gone from,
Holy shit.
Want you to go off the roof to, I'll set you on fire. And I think that's an improvement.
Progress is what Tara is saying. Progress. No, but you're right, though. In context of the series and the fact that they have quirks, it is progress. Also, I love how things flip. Even Deku mentions it in the school where he's like, wait a minute, at the academy, people are saying they like me and people are messing with Bakugo? Like, it's really funny how things change. Like, I'm not saying it's always the change from, like, middle school to high school, but, like, things do change where, like, at least for me anyway, maybe people have a different experience. If you have, comment down below. But still, for me anyway, like going from high school to like college, right? It's like in high school, there are people that are like, ha, you like this, it's stupid, you're stupid. High school, college, they're like, oh, you like this? Cool, I do too. Oh, you don't like that? And I like that? Okay, cool too, whatever. Like, no one's really going to get on your ass in college, from what I've noticed, for the same shit that happened in high school. So it's kind of funny how, in middle school, people are just messing with, Deku, and he's like, oh, no. But, like, in high school, like, he's talking to people. Oh, God, I just talked to a girl. The text, he did not say a word.
Yeah,
but,
it's,
yeah. The dynamics, it's nice. It shows you how, like, different schools, like, different stages of your life, things do change.
Absolutely. That's why, I'm just excited to see how much more they're going to grow. Like, again, like, once you catch up to where I am, which, at least in the anime, like, at least catch up to where the anime is, I'm excited to see how you're going to see how these kids grow. Because they're already grown so much. Like Deku has grown immensely. Baku has grown a little bit, not much, but enough to be noticeable. And just imagine how much they're going to grow in the next, there's like 26 season each episode, so in like 50 plus episodes, they're going to grow so much more than they've grown in 13 episodes.
Yeah. So before we wrap things up, I want to ask you something. So I'm assuming, from the way they've set things up at the end of season 1, I'm assuming that they are not going to skip a year in canon for season 2. They're going to start like a few days later or a week later or something like that.
They do not skip a year, which is nice. It's, again, this is not a spoiler, but in the manga where we are right now, they're still in year 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so then, these 3 seasons obviously are in year 1. Okay.
Yeah, everything current in canon, everything is in year 1.
Got it. Okay. So, all right, that's interesting. And, it's been 3 years our time, at least with the anime. I don't know how long the manga's been going, but it's been 3 years anime-wise. Okay. So, no, it's definitely, so yeah, I enjoy it. I definitely want to start reading the manga. I'll say this much. If I start reading the manga, you're always invited to come onto a Book of the Month episode with me. Usually that's one where I do with Tristan, where we talk about different manga or novels just once a month. But hey, always welcome for My Hero Academia. And, but in general though, let's definitely talk about the anime in the future, because I really enjoyed what we've seen so far, what I've seen so far, and I want to see more. Like, I'll tell you that much. Like, I'm still hooked. Like, I'm not like, whatever. Like, I want to see it, but I also know that, like, I don't want to see it twice because I don't want to forget anything. That's why I try to, and longtime listeners know, I try to watch stuff, like, literally, like, even minutes before the podcast, because I go, okay, it's all fresh.
No, yeah, it's valid. Like when you messaged me about doing the podcast, I'm like, I haven't seen season 1. It's a long time. So I'm like, okay, I can't give away anything. I have to remember what's exactly in season 1. Like, before we got on the podcast, I was like, what's the last thing that happened in season 1 so I know where to stop?
Yeah, because you got busy. Because your first text to me was, marathon a whole season in a weekend? I'm down.
Yeah.
And I was like, dear God, Tara.
I got sick this weekend. I couldn't actually.
Oh, right. How's your eye?
They're my eyes are fine. It was the quickest case of like pink eye I've ever seen in my entire life. It's really gross. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore.
I'm not passing Tara the controller. That's all I'm saying. When we play the game, I'm like, no, Tara, you cannot take the controller.
It's not contagious. I wipe down every single surface in my house with Clorox, and it's not contagious after 24 hours of taking antibiotics. So
you win. You've won. You can see. I was super nervous when you were like, because like I thought you were doing, because literally imagine this, guys. The day before the podcast, you're like, hey, can I change the time that we're recording this from this time to this time? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, dude. Like I can do late night stuff. Don't worry about it. Why? Well, I had pink eye. Holy shit! Very understated pink eye. Yeah, I just had a little bit of some pink eye. You know, some of that small stuff. I'm like, oh look, I'm happy it's not the measles, but holy shit.
See, the thing is that, like, so I work in elementary school, and the elementary school that I work in is a cesspool of germs. So I'm just used to, like, just being sick. And if I can still physically move, because once upon a time in my life, I literally almost died. So if I can still move around and talk and breathe, I think I'm fine. So
Fair.
If I have pink eye, I think I'm fine. But again, if my eye is so swollen that it looks like someone decked me in the face, I got a Detroit smash to the face, then I don't go to school. That's what it looked like. I got a Detroit smash to the face.
Tara's quirk is even with one eye, she could still watch My Hero Academia.
My quirk is no matter how sick I am, I still want to watch My Hero Academia. That is my quirk.
And read the manga.
And read the manga with my one eye.
With your one eye. It's now 10/20 vision. But what I want to say as we're about to wrap this up. So I know you're not too big into a lot of Funimation anime. I mean, Funimation also Funimation anime as in stuff has been licensed by Funimation. Anime mostly, but like some of the stuff that you've seen, even though Funimation licensed it, it wasn't really their voice actors. They're small pool, or bigger now, but at one point small pool in Texas. However, when you said you saw Fairy Tail, Funimation, I believe, also dubbed that as well. So you might have noticed some actor crossover between the two. Because as someone who, when I saw Dragon Ball Z as a kid, also a Funimation title. So I could see someone like All Might and be like, oh my god, that's Vegeta. And that's Piccolo. Yeah.
I didn't notice anything from that, but the one thing I did notice was Danganronpa. Kirishima's voice actor. I don't think it's the dub. It's the normal Japanese voice actor. He actually plays. Yeah. So he actually plays So Kirishima's voice actor. So Kirishima is a spiky red-haired boy, and
yes.
In Danganronpa, he also plays a spiky red-haired boy. So
That's
he
funny.
looks the same, and the voice is the same. I'm like, that's Kirishima's voice, and he looks the same. And I was wondering why I like this character the most. And I'm like, oh, he has my best boy's voice. So it made so much sense to me.
Yes. So the voice actor for the DJ was also Sonny Strait, who he ended up earlier in Dragon Ball Z. He's been Krillin. He was even Goku's dad. And then also jumping to, she was, Sue, her voice actor, she's the voice of Bulma in Dragon Ball Z, and many others too, but again, just relating it to DBZ because that's what I saw when I was younger. She's not the original Bulma, but still, she's Bulma. And then we also have, I'm thinking of anyone else that kind of popped up, Kirishima. His voice actor is Justin Cook, who not only, does a lot of directing work now at Funimation, because a lot of people who have, been there for 20 years, of course, they're getting not just more roles, but also more managerial positions. He also was the voice of Goku's brother in Dragon Ball Z, and many other people as well. So it's funny seeing all of these actors, some of them that I'm like, wow, I was seeing these shows when I was 7, when I was even younger than Deku is as a character, and now I get to see them either having minor parts and having a lot of other people who I don't know. That's another thing I love too, Tara, is seeing people that I don't know in this show or hearing them, because Funimation, usually their pool is so small. Like in Dragon Ball Z, when they first started dubbing anime, swear to God, Tara, Chris Sabat, who's the voice of All Might, was 30 DBZ characters.
Oof.
because it was, granted, he has a great range, but they were small. So he would be like Vegeta, Piccolo, Yajirobe, Korin, who's a cat, Kami, he was a cat, it was really funny, Korin, he was like, out of the Ginyu Force, which are like 5 villainous characters, Chris Sabat was like 2 out of 5. He was a lot of characters throughout the show. So it's nice. I think he played one other random villain because, and you know how I know, it's so weird. One of the villains who was frozen by Todoroki, he was like, oh, like he was, because he was frozen, and I was like, that's Chris Sabat's gasp. Because he's been like all these characters in DBZ who get shocked all the time, like, whoa, what? I was like, that's Chris Sabat gasping.
Very specific.
Very specific type of gasp. But no, it was nice to see some voices that are familiar to me, but also a bunch of people who I'm like, yeah, I don't know who you are, and that's beautiful because it's 2019. You want to eventually be like, oh, new blood, like. Yeah, it has to be a new talent pool in this. So same thing with Attack on Titan as well, which I know you haven't seen, but like it was also somewhat newer, I guess, compared to the anime that you and I have seen throughout the years. Somewhat newer, 2013, 2014. So yeah, Attack on Titan 2, a lot of new blood, and I like that, seeing a new show that's licensed by Funimation and not knowing who these actors are. So it feels like I'm not sitting there and going, oh, that's so and so. Like, oh, I know who that is. Like, that's clearly this other character. Like, I can go, oh, like Deku. I don't know who plays Deku. I would look it up soon, but, like, I'm happy to be like, that is Deku. Yeah. Like, oh, this is Bakugo. Oh, this is Todoroki, and not have it be attached to, like, a bunch of other characters. Oh, not Kirishima, Glasses. The runner.
Ida?
Yeah, Ida. I love his voice actor. I like him because he usually plays characters that are very glasses, very uptight. You know what I mean when I say that too in anime. He plays characters that are very glasses. So, yeah. No, because I believe his voice actor, I don't know if you ever heard of Ouran High School Host Club, but he was a very similar looking character in the English dub of Ouran. So it's funny.
Who? Because I guess I love Ouran High School Host Club.
Oh, the literally the same guy with the glasses from The Rich Family.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yes. Yeah. No, it has to be him. If it's not, then I will recant it right now. I'm on trial. I don't want any perjury charges. I will recant it. But I'm pretty sure it's him because their voices are very similar. So yeah, so again, it's nice to see some old or hear some old voices, but also a lot of new blood, and I love it. So either way, anything you want to say, Tara, before we wrap this one up?
Honey, got a big storm coming for season 2?
Oh yeah, no. Looking at those villains, looking at how scared they were, but how not scared the voices behind the mic were, shit's gonna get real.
It's like, oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. And it's like, this was playtime?
Yeah,
Okay.
They were kind of pissed that their project, the brain, was like flown into space. They were like, okay, that sucks. We put a lot of fucking money into that. But other than that, they were like, it happens.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my toys got broke. Guess I'll buy some new ones.
Yeah. So either way, can't wait for that. Definitely going to do that soon in the near future. But I want to say to you guys, if you are watching this on Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, please comment down below. No spoilers, but comment down below on what you thought about My Hero Academia Season 1. And I believe you can also comment as well if you're listening to this through our Blog Talk Radio account, blogtalkradio.com/ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. But I don't think you can comment on our iTunes, but you can still find us on iTunes and download this episode by searching up Those Guys on iTunes, and you can hear us on the road, portable, Tara. Just someone's walking, like, oh, I want to hear Tara just yell at her cats.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to hear, man.
Yeah, dude. So either way, though, I want to thank you all so much for listening in, as always, just kind of helping us be us, just hearing our ramblings about anime and everything else under the sun. And I'm really happy that Tara came on, and I can't wait for you to come on to future episodes, and also when we actually play the My Hero Academia game in the future.
Yeah.
That'll be fun as well. And again, remember, everybody, you can catch that on our Those Guys Play channel. And if you're wondering, but Matt, what day, what time, what year? Well, if you follow us on our social media, our Facebook, facebook.com/ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysRadio, or our website, tgproduction.net. You can follow all of our shenanigans that we do throughout all 3 of our channels, because we also have TG Productions as well, where we do a lot of fun stuff there. You can follow all of that, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, thank you all. Love you all. Take care. Tune in next time. Any parting words of wisdom, Tara?
Nope. I'm just happy to go to sleep.
Yeah, parting words of wisdom. Get some sleep. All right, that's Tara's quirk. So, telling all of you to go to sleep. So,
go to sleep.
See ya. Goodbye, everybody.